Hey class, how you guys doing? All right, welcome to Milestone 5 already. Wow, can you believe it? We are almost done here. This is our final, our last full week of class. And then of course we have some work to do next week, submitting our final projects, etc. So let's go ahead and take a look at Milestone 5. First of all, I just want to start by saying you guys are really doing a great job. I think the class as a whole is moving in a really good direction. As a group, you guys are getting it. You're getting what we're presenting here and getting the underlying meaning behind the presentations. And I think you're really understanding the concepts that are being presented. And that's fantastic because a lot of times students go through the motions and just do the design work without really having a firm grasp on the conceptual development and the approach conceptually that we're presenting and really trying to get you to understand. As a designer, it's all about concept development. It's all about research. It's all about presentation, right? And I think this class gets that. I really do. So that's fantastic. So this week, Milestone 5, we've got some interesting things going on. So far we've developed the work, right? We've got the logo, we've got the word mark, and now we've got the monogram. And I think one of the most important things to mention at this point is to say that these should work together as a system, okay? The monogram should be placed next to the logo, and the viewer should be able to look at it and go and say to themselves, well, that's part of the same package, right? There should be a high degree of visual harmony. There should be a high degree of visual consistency. And again, I'm going to repeat, if you're finalizing your work for your branding package and you say, okay, there's some things that are inconsistent here, quite typically they're going to point to font usage and color usage. So just make sure you're consistent. Hey, if you have to go back and change the font in the original piece we designed, the logo, after you designed your word mark and your monogram, so be it. That's part of the process. That's all part of the iteration process in the design process. So the name of the game here is, of course, consistency and visual harmony. So please do whatever you have to do to get us to that point. Let's go ahead and jump over to Milestone 5. There's just a couple of things here in Milestone 5 I think that are worth taking a look at. One, of course, is subjective versus objective design, and it's really important for design students to understand this because in your careers as designers, you're going to hear this many times. We'd like an objective approach. Okay, I want this design to be purely objective. Or on the other hand, you have to know the difference immediately between what your art director, creative director, or your client is talking about when they say, I'd like this to be a really, really objective approach to this design. Or I want this to be subjective based on whatever characteristics are so associated with the client. You see what I'm saying? So that's a really important factor as well. And then strengthening as symbols of fact. Definitely want to take a look at that. And then also the textbook, System Dynamics. Take a look at that, guys, because that really describes what I'm talking about to a very high degree and very successfully, very expeditiously, and very easy to understand. So definitely read the textbook, System Dynamics. All right, so Milestone 5, Task 1. What are we doing in our tasks in our final submission? So Milestone 5, Task 1. Here's what we're going to do. It's right here. You're going to develop a style guide. And basically, you need to know what a style guide is and why we develop it, and look at some examples. And basically, what a style guide is it's a set of rules that the designer creates in order to have other designers know how to use your logos the way that you intended them to. Okay, the logos, the colors, the typefaces, the placement, etc. Everything that you envision as a designer should be summarized in a style guide, and that style guide is used for the intent of passing along to other designers who are working with the logo, and as a way for them to understand how the original designer of the logo intends other designers using that logo to apply the rules and regulations associated with the visual components for the branding system. It's really important, really important. Style guides are super common. You'll be using them the rest of your careers, and it's really important right now to get a good, solid, firm understanding on how to develop what is a style guide, what goes in a style guide, how to design and implement a style guide. So what we're going to be doing here is we are going to create a style guide. So company style guides are very important. It establishes and enforces a style to improve communications. Okay, in this task, you will analyze existing corporate style guide and briefly summarize devices used to create consistency and uniqueness of identity. Based on the analysis, you will create a basic style guide for your client. Okay, so what does that mean? It means we're going to create a basic style guide. In our style guide, let me show you something first. I'm going to jump over to the announcements. Welcome to Milestone 5. This is great. This is a great announcement, guys. Everything is right here for you. So what is a style guide? Here's a nice video describing what is a style guide. Why do we need style guides? Link out. How to create style guides? Link out. There's 2 links there. And examples of style guides. So we have Spotify, Heineken, and Walmart's. Their style guides are right here. Then we're going to move into a little bit, I want to talk a little bit more about letterhead design, but I'll get that in stationary system design, and I'll get to that in a second. But as far as style guides go, guys, definitely, please don't attempt this week's assignments without looking at these resources first. But the style guide itself, what you're going to do is this, is you are going to, whoa, gosh, where am I? So in your style guide, you're going to create it in Microsoft Word doc, and you include the following. Okay, so rules govern proper use and placement of the logo or corporate symbol. So that is just basically visual attributes showing how and how not to use the logo. So for example, if you don't want anyone putting a drop shadow on your logo, typically what you would do is you would show the logo. And these are all, there's so many examples right here. And in my announcements, there's plenty of examples so you can see this. But rules for usage is basically a page that shows the logo. Okay, so you would put a drop shadow on the logo and then just put a no or an X mark next to that saying, no, that's not allowed. Okay, then you would show the regular version of the logo with a check mark indicating that's how you use it. You would show a logo with the wrong colors with an X. Say, okay, do you see what I'm saying? So basically all you're doing is showing the rules governing the proper use and placement of the logo in the corporate. Then you're going to show your corporate colors, your palette of colors, name those colors, identify those colors using RGB and CMYK equivalents, or spot color Pantone if that's what you're using in your logos. And then a description of the fonts used in the marketing pieces, and describe the look and the style guide seeks to create. Okay. And then whatever you want to add to that. And again, it's really important that you take a look at some of these examples so you understand where we're going here. Okay, let's jump over to task 2 to see what was going on here. Now, in task 2, Milestone 5, task 2, you're going to start developing sketches using your work, and you're going to develop sketches for a basic branding identity piece, which is called a stationary system, guys. S-T-A-T-I-O-N-E-R-Y, not A-R-Y, E-R-Y. And that indicates that it is a business stationery, which typically consists of 3 basic pieces: a business card, a letterhead, and a number 10 envelope. So what we're going to do here is you're going to create 15 thumbnail sketches. 3 sketches for your business card, 3 sketches for your number 10, you're going to take 15 sketches for your 3 basic identity pieces. You're going to take 5 sketches for your business card, 5 sketches for your envelope, 5 sketches for your letterhead, and you're going to submit those. Make sure there's plenty of variety associated with these sketches. We don't want them to look the same. We want to have enough variety for your client to be able to choose the visual direction that they would prefer. Okay, so what you're going to do is, here it is, Adobe PDF, 15 hand-drawn sketches of 3 basic identity pieces, namely a business card, letterhead, and an envelope. That's 5 sketches per piece. Okay, keeping in mind the following: size, color combinations, etc., visual appeal, style and relevance, and identity of the client. Again, guys, go through the course materials, including the stuff in the announcement. And you'll really get a good idea. I fully expect there to be a lot of research done here before you get to the design stage, so you have a really good idea of the approach that you're going to employ in the final solution, and that is the finished development of your stationary system. That is the letterhead, the envelope, and the business card. All right, so That's what I have for this week, guys. Again, here's your announcement right here. A lot of good goodies in here for you. A ton of good stuff here. So questions, comments, concerns at all, please feel free to let me know. I'll be glad to clarify anything that's not immediately understood. And okay, this is week 5, guys. So you're being held to a very high standard here in your design. We've been at this for 5 weeks now, and really expecting to see some outstanding work this week in both your style guide as well as sketches for your final branding package. All right, thanks, guys. See you in discussion board.